Hello and welcome to China Insight. I'm Zhong Shi. Today we're discussing the Tokyo trials held 70 years ago. Following Japan's defeat in the Second World War, the victorious Allies took the decision to put a number of the country's military personnel and political leaders on trial, accused of war crimes. The International Military Tribunal for the Far East, also known as the Tokyo trials, convened in 1946 and concluded 2 years later. The proceedings played a key role in reshaping the post-war order in the Asia-Pacific. This year, the trials and their legacy were discussed at an international forum held in Shanghai. But why were the delegates debating the trials, and why is the legacy still relevant today? 70 years have passed since the Tokyo trials opened. The International Academic Forum on the Tokyo Trials and World Peace was held in mid-November at Shanghai Jiao Tong University. It brought together 25 experts on international law and history from China, Japan, the US, the UK, and New Zealand. They reflected on the Tokyo trials in the light of the current global situation and discussed how this key historical event has influenced world peace. 95-year-old Gao Wenbing was the secretary of the Chinese delegation to the Tokyo trials.
The Japanese people didn't know what their troops had done. After the Tokyo trial, many Japanese, especially women, all lowered their heads and felt ashamed when we walked out because their soldiers had committed so many inhumane crimes, including raping Chinese women. The Tokyo trial was a shock to the Japanese.
Former Japanese Prime Minister Murayama Tomoichi delivered a speech by video.
作家の村上春樹さんは、僕は戦後生まれで直接的な戦争責任はないが、記憶を引き継いでいる人間としての責任はある。それが歴史というものだ。簡単にチャラにしてはいけないと語っておりますが、私も大変眼蓄のある村上さんの言葉をいつも日本の若者に語っております。日中両国の未来を担う青年交流の活発化を何としても実現すればなりません。
The Japanese government had made the promise to accept the verdict of Tokyo trial in the past. However, the current government wants to abandon the promise, which damages the international reputation of Japan. It is very necessary and meaningful to look back at the Tokyo trial nowadays from this perspective.
Xiang Longwan is the son of Xiang Zhejun, who was the Chinese prosecutor during the trials. The application of international law was a sophisticated matter, to say the very least, and it certainly didn't go without its fair share of controversies. What made things complicated at the time?
东京审判的时候，我是5岁到8岁吧，很小。当然有些印象，比如说我曾经和母亲、姐姐送父亲到飞机场，到东京去。那么另外也，父亲那时候为了回来述职，或者是找证据，或者写材料，来来回回，有时候晚上打字，第二天一早就走。现在我们从历史档案里面呢，看到了。从1946年到1948年，我父亲到日本和回来这个2年多的大量的函电，有好像60-70封这个函电。那么这些函电呢，就可以看出当时他们的心路的历程和工作的状态。那我觉得最大的问题呢，人手不够。中国代表团法官和检察官2个 group 加在一起，前后17位。这次我们这个会议的主题是为了和平，确实是这样。我们现在研究东京审判，并不是去复仇，而是把这些事实、当时这些情况再现出来，警示人们不要再重蹈这样的覆辙。包括中国、日本这2个是亚洲最大的国家，也是这个目前世界第2、第3大的经济体。你作为邻居，你不可能跑的。那么你我们现在并不是要仇恨日本人或者怎么样，而是应该中国、日本人民一起回顾这段历史，共同总结这个经验教训，以后不再犯，这样才有利于未来的发展。
Why do we study the Tokyo trials today, about 70 years after the opening of the trials?
今は 東京裁判が評判になってる2回目のピークなんです。僕が1983年アメリカの国立公文書館に行って東京裁判の国際検察局の資料を初めて見たんです。今日のいろいろ報告とか討論を聞いてて非常に嬉しかったのは東京裁判の判決とサンフランシスコ講和条約第11条の関係をみんなが述べてたこと。これは研究者として僕が初めて1980年代後半に論文を発表してそれがやっぱり国際的にもみんな紹介されるようになったかということで非常に嬉しく思っています。今度中国がねこの大学に東京裁判研究センターを作ったことは非常に大きいと思いますね。今世界で東京裁判についての恒常的な研究所があるのは中国だけです。そういうアジアの一国であった中国がですねやっぱりアジアの声を代弁して東京裁判の実態をですねプラスマイナス含めて明らかにしてくれればいいということで僕はこの大学のセンターについては非常に高い評価を与えています。
Why do we study the Tokyo trials today, 70 years after the opening of the trials?
It's an old topic in the sense that it's been studied for 7 decades, as you point out. We have a vast corpus of literature and we have enormous knowledge about this trial. But it's a new topic at the same time because in the existing scholarship there is lacking the understanding of the Tokyo trial as a legal event.
Tokyo trials were an international judicial process. The brutality of the Second World War and the loss of life had fomented a powerful desire worldwide to ensure that it would never be repeated. It was deemed essential to put the perpetrators on trial in the interest of preserving world peace and underpinning the emergence of a new Asia-Pacific order. On August 15, 1945, Japan announced its surrender. 10 months later, the International Military Tribunal for the Far East convened. One of the most heinous acts committed by the Japanese military during the conflict had been the Nanjing Massacre. Yet at the trial, Japan's military personnel and political leaders denied that any massacre of civilians had taken place. They also insisted that accusations of prisoners of war being tortured and killed amounted to misinformation. Among the first witnesses to testify was Robert Wilson, an American doctor who had been working at a Nanjing hospital. He testified that from December 13, 1937 onwards, the hospital's beds had been occupied by one person after another who had been stabbed, shot, burned, or raped by Japanese soldiers. American priest John McGee, after Nanjing fell, had risked his life to record the atrocities committed by the Japanese soldiers in the city. The video he filmed was played in court.
What is your name?
John Gillespie McGee.
What was the action of the Japanese soldiers toward the civilian Chinese men after they had possession of the city of Nanking on December 13, 1937?
The killing began immediately in several ways, often by individual Japanese soldiers or up to 30 soldiers together going about, each one seeming to have the power of life or death. And then soon there was organized killing of great bodies of men.
Chinese survivors of the massacre were also among the witnesses. Hu Changde had survived an indiscriminate Japanese shooting attack by falling to the ground and pretending to be dead. Further evidence of what took place in Nanjing had been provided by the international media. A December 18, 1937 report in the New York Times by its correspondent in Nanjing ran under the headline, "All Captives Slain." It was this report detailing the brutal acts committed by the Japanese that first coined the term Nanjing Massacre. Japanese General Iwani Matsui faced charges of ordering the massacre, which he denied. In November 1948, Iwani Matsui was sentenced to death by hanging. The Nanjing Massacre has been a painful chapter of history for the Chinese nation and the Chinese people, and it was presented in full detail at the trials. What do you think was the role of the trials in exposing that massacre?
在东京审判的审理过程中，跟之前实际上南京审判的已经开始了，但是南京大屠杀摆到这个世人面前，就是在全世界那是通过东京审判。南京大屠杀也是东京审判审理的最大暴行，长期以来它是从法庭之内的辩护方到法庭之外的我说否定派，他着力攻击的一个主攻点，南京大屠杀。否定南京大屠杀，日本是从上世纪70年代开始。我们今天回过头来看，一直到90年代，大致可以说两方就是肯定的一方跟否定的一方，它是分庭抗礼的。进入11世纪以后，他那个否定占的压倒的优势。其中呢，很重要的，他们就是讲，不仅是他们当然说从程序上、从法理上认为有问题，很重要的，他们就说证据有问题。日本有一个叫富士信夫的，他说他几乎参与了东京审判的所有庭审。他说他的感觉就是，辩方有很多这个有价值的材料，提出了很多好的意见，法庭完全无视。那长期以来呢，这个困难在哪里呢？就苦于当时没有材料，就是我们没有办法判别他这样子，就当时他讲的那些问题。经过这些年的研究，我们就发现日本在南京大屠杀这个问题上，当时在这个东京审判的时候做了大规模的伪证。
There have been, if you will, many layers of historical significance of the Tokyo trials. What do you think were the most profound implications of the trials?
在东京审判这个之前，同盟国包括纽伦堡审判之前，同盟国经过了长时间的讨论，当时他们就已经感觉到用法律用这样的一个审判的形式追究是困难。困难在哪里呢？就是一个你法律的依据在哪里。所以最初的时候，你像这个丘吉尔他就提出应该是就地处决，英国当时提出，美国也有这样的主张，也有说就是用简易军事法庭速审速决。那后来经过长时间的这个讨论以后，决定要用一个非常正式的，用同盟国多国这样的一个法庭呢，表明了当时同盟国捍卫和平的决心。他们为什么要用这样的一个应该是比较麻烦的，因为这样你就遇到一个法的问题，还有其他一些问题。他为什么要这样？他既是取信于当下，也是要让后世让人家感到这个是经得起检验的。当时参与审判的这个国家，大部分它是殖民地、宗主国，少部分像印度跟菲律宾，它在开庭的时候，它还是殖民地，还没有独立。唯有中国是一个主权独立的一个国家。从这个意义上说呢，唯有中国它是真正意义上的受害国。东京审判正义性，它表现的很多方面，其中一个很重要的就是中国的参与。如果没有中国的参与，这个东京审判的正义性一定会削弱。
Would you say what was achieved at the trials served as a deterrence factor and actually prevent future war and aggression?
Peace does not suddenly break out after the end of war is declared. That peace is a process. That the way in which militaries, the way in which a population can demilitarize takes time. There's what historians call the demobilization of the mind. How do you get people to think differently about what they had just fought for years for, psychologically, but also what happens when empires end. And just because empires are declared null and void overnight doesn't mean that people immediately go back and start thinking about, now that the war is over, we'll create peace. So for me, the Tokyo war crimes trial is a moment in time that puts into play a very important set of new policies towards behavior in East Asia.
It's a long time since the Tokyo War Crimes trial, and we're many generations of people have been born since then, and some of the distance, historical distance, is beginning to have some effect on the interest in the trials. My interest is really in, rather than in revisiting all of the legal debates about the legality of the trial at the time, and those preoccupied the trial. I mean, it was 2 years of endless argument about whether it was legal or not, which constantly went on and was never really put to rest, even at the end of the trial. My interest is really what value now, in terms of the control of aggression. So in the post-war order, the UN Charter set up a prohibition against the use of force in international relations in Article 2, Paragraph 4 of the UN Charter, with some exception in respect of self-defense under Article 51. But we never had a prosecution of a crime against peace in the post-war order after these immediate post-war trials. And it was downplayed. We've had a lot of wars since then, which have killed a lot of people. So all of the arguments which motivated the holding of the Tokyo War Crimes trial are equally opposite to the endless wars that have been fought since then, and yet no control of those conflicts. However, at the moment we are moving towards a position where the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court is in the process of being amended, and there is a potential for the crime of aggression to fall within the jurisdiction of consenting states that are parties to the Rome Statute. The necessary numbers of ratifications have been accepted, and so there is some potential for a prosecution of the crime of aggression. Now, clearly, major powers are not that interested in that crime because it curbs their sovereign powers.
What do you think is the legacy of the trials that continues to be felt today?
Yeah, that's a tough one, actually. The immediate implication, I guess, achievement was to get the record out into public about the Japanese conduct of war, as well as its policy decisions pertaining the planning and waging of aggressive war. That the Japanese people invaded other countries and carried out atrocities was known to the Japanese people to some extent, but it was never documented the way the Tokyo trial allowed. So to get that documented in full public view, right after the end of World War II, that was a major achievement.
Would you say the trial served, to some extent, as a deterrence factor and prevented future wars?
日本が70年間も戦争をしてなかった。日本の国民は平和を求めてんだという、その一つのステップになるのが東京裁判の訴えかけるものだと僕は思いますね。
What is your take on the limits of the trials?
That it de-emphasized the normal war crimes, so the war crimes for which there was almost no legal controversy. It de-emphasized them, put them at the back of the bill of charges, right? They were the numbers 53, 54, 55, and all the front end of the charges was all crimes against peace. And I felt that that is a strategic mistake. A major mistake was made then, because it meant that those crimes were in some way de-emphasized, and too much emphasis was placed on the actual starting of the war rather than on the way that troops behaved during the course of the war, which was solidly spelled out in existing law. There was no controversy about it. They should have spent a lot more time going through that material. They did, but it was narrow in scope, and there are still many potential victims of the Japanese imperial project, which took place in Asia, who have never had really their wrongs addressed because of the narrow scope of that part of the trial. So I think that was a mistake. I think that something I will be talking about this afternoon is that I think that the design of the charge of crimes against peace as a kind of grand conspiracy which involved both the Italians, the Germans and the Japanese in some scheme to take over the globe simply misunderstood the complexity of the situation here in Asia. It tried to link it to the European conflict in a way in which it probably wasn't really linked. And it was far too broadly conceived. That is a mistake.
70-year trials still give rise to debate. As the International Academic Forum revealed, there remain differences of opinion concerning the trial's legacy, principally between Chinese and Japanese scholars. When the International Military Tribunal for the Far East convened in Tokyo on April 29, 1946, a total of 28 Japanese military and political leaders faced indictment for waging a war of aggression and committing war crimes. A further 5,700 lower-ranking personnel were also charged with war crimes. The crimes they were accused of included the abuse of prisoners of war, rape, sexual enslavement, torture, the ill treatment of workers, execution without trial, and conducting inhumane medical experiments. You talked about how some Japanese people are in denial of the findings and convictions of the Tokyo trials, and how others passionately embrace the pacifist constitution. What are the reasons behind these two different mindsets?
In one way, you can say you can't do it because there are individuals who just don't want to know what the Tokyo trial was about. There are not a significant number of people who want to talk about the Tokyo trial as it fits their purpose. So to convince these individuals would be very difficult because they are not wanting to learn or wanting to, I guess basically they are not wanting to learn. But I feel very strongly that the vast majority of the Japanese people are very open to new ways of looking at things, or rather understanding what actually happened and how to of what has happened. My sense is that our studies of the Tokyo trial is voluminous in Japan. The Japanese people know a lot about it, but they know about the Tokyo trial in terms of that as a politicized event. What they haven't been exposed to is an understanding of the Tokyo trial as a judicial event. Now, my saying so doesn't mean that I approve or disapprove the Tokyo trial. What I'm trying to suggest through my research is to try to understand it as a judicial proceeding and evaluate it.
日中関係のこれからを考えるにあたりまして、どうしても忘れることのできないことは、私が内閣総理大臣を務めました1995年、日本の敗戦50年にあって発表した村山談話についてであります。この中で私は、遠くない過去の一時期、国策を誤り、戦争の道を突き進んで侵略戦争と植民地支配によって中国やアジアの人々に多大の損害と苦痛を与えたことについてであります。日本は日中関係の歴史の真実を正しく認識をして反省をし中国に向き合うがなければならないと思います。私が総理として談話を出してから20年経ちましたけれども、いまだに日本の与党の中枢部には歴史の真実をねじ曲げたり覆い隠そうとするような動きが見られることは誠に遺憾に思います。
私は日本で東京裁判の意義をもう一回、確認し直すという 行動を続けています。1995年に日本の村山元内閣総理大臣が村山談話を出しましたけども、国家の公式文書であの戦争は侵略戦争だったと、心からの謝罪とお詫びをするということを全世界に宣言しました。にもかかわらず日本の与党の幹部や安倍さんがそういう侵略の歴史を認めないというような発言をすることは、私は間違った発言であり、こういうものは日本国民として克服していかねばならないと思っています。乗り越えていかねばならない。そのための運動をやるのが村山談話の会の任務の一つでもあるんですね。これから日本と中国がいかに友好関係を樹立していくかの際しては、やはり常に歴史を忘れずに歴史を教訓として前に進まねばなりませんけれども、その意味で東京裁判はですね、今後とも研究を続けていかねばなりません。
Mei Xiaokan is the daughter of Mei Ruao, who was the Chinese member of the judges panel at the Tokyo trials. She still remembers what her dad said.
I am not a revanchist. Neither do I intend to ascribe the debt of blood owed to us by the Japanese imperialists to the Japanese people. I believe, however, that to forget the sufferings of the past is to be vulnerable to tragedy in the future. I think what he said was very correct. You know, we have to learn from history, and from there we move forward.
2017年に記念すべき日中国交正常化45周年を迎えますが、同時に来年は中国大陸全土の戦争を拡大する端緒となった六京事件から80周年であります。来年は単に国交正常化45周年を祝うだけではなく、この2つの大きな出来事の間にいかに多くの苦難の歴史があり、一位対両国民が互いに理解し合い、尊敬し合う関係を築くことが重要であるかということを認識することが大事であると思います。
The significance of the Tokyo trials was not that the victor was able to exact revenge on the vanquished. Rather, it was that through an international judicial process, the entire world was made to reflect on the horror of war. The great legacy of the Tokyo trials is the lesson that aggression would never pay, and that peace, which has been so hard won, must be cherished. If you have any comments or questions, please email us at chinainsight@cctv.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Weibo, and WeChat. And we'll see you next time for more stories and discussion on China out of China.